How do you do, G-Pod crew? It's your Nutty Buddy Putty here, and welcome to a special breakdown of Twisted Metal. Guys, this is called the Twisted Metal Triple Threat. There's going to be three videos. Over here, we have Johnny
Too
Donuts.
sweet?
He's going to be too sweet, too sweet. All right, so okay, we'll start from below. Actually, below Campo, we actually did the full review of Twisted Metal over on his end. Go check it out; it was amazing. Then, of course, over here, I hate when I try to write down point. Over here, we have JD. JD, we are doing the tier list, and oh boy, that's interesting too. Wait till you guys see that as well. But guys, it is a triple threat. This episode is going to be the breakdown, but we're actually doing this a little bit special because we're actually going to Naito. Make sure you guys go check out Johnny Dota's channel. He has a lot of wrestling there, and believe me,
We'll be talking about a lot of Tetsuya Naito over the days to come.
Exactly. So if you're a wrestling fan, the link will be down below. But today we are going to be starting talking about Twisted Metal. Today is going to be the breakdown, and I'm making this extra special because, well, I don't like to just talk about things. Sometimes I like to, show things. So with that being said, we're actually going to be looking
Keep it in your pants
at the episodes today when it comes to the Twisted Metal. Okay, so now we're not going to show the video copyright. We're not going to be showing the video. We're just going to be showing parts of the episodes, skipping around, showing you guys each episode as we break them down. Now, all three of us have seen this. All three of us have played the video game. All three of us are familiar with some of the lore. I've got a lot here that we're going to be going through. So, again, buckle up your seats. This can be amazing. So the first thing I want to talk about, guys, I don't know if you guys noticed this. Every title of every episode is literally a license plate trying to spell out something about that episode.
And when I'm so happy that you noticed that.
Yeah. So I don't know if anybody realized this, but every single one of them had a storyline. And this is just a peek of what they did. Like, what did you guys think when they just, even the subtle things like this, when it came to,
what? Can I say something? Honestly, when we knew we were going to do the
review,
I guess Easter eggs stuff for Putty's channel, I knew Putty was going to find all kinds of little things, maybe even stuff I didn't notice, probably a lot of stuff I didn't notice. But I honestly, by the end of the show, and this is funny, it took me almost all the way to the end. I would say like episode 7 before I realized the license plate thing. And I thought, you know what? Putty definitely didn't notice this. And you know what? Putty definitely noticed it.
Well, episode 7, it worked so well because it's the license plate of the car.
Yeah.
And we all know what happens to the car in episode 7.
Oh, yes. And that's the funny part. That's the one thing I love. Because, again, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, the original car, now, this is one thing I want to say, too, about this, which, by the way, already good starting off right here. But I wanted to go back to the car that he's actually driving. So, for those
Did it bother you that, can I side note, but on your thing, and we didn't talk about this in my review on my channel, did you find it bothersome that none of the original cars except for Sweet Tooth were in this show?
Okay, so
no original car from the first game or cars from the actual games?
Just okay. There are like hints and nods, which we'll get into because this is obviously an Easter egg episode. But I'm saying just generally, the most main cars are not, at least in the forefront of the show. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, in episode 8, we do get one of the main cars. We get Overkill.
Did it bother you that for like the majority of the show that the main cars weren't there? Because for me, I know it's like reference to, but like as a player of this game, my favorite character was Spectre.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Spectre is like kind of referenced, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember if he was. I don't remember because this is a prime example. It's a good point right here. In this scene, this is the shopping mall scene, and in it, this car. When I saw that his name was John Doe, I saw this car and I go, "This isn't the Roadkill."
Well, but there was obviously no 2013 WRX Subaru in the games, right? But
yeah. But again,
the car that they used is a perfect fit because it's something you would want to get through these type of things.
But we do get Roadkill later in the game. In the show, though.
You do. But Milkman is not a main character in the game.
No.
They didn't call him Milkman. But that's why he's called John Doe, because there is.
But John Doe is in the game. There is
John Doe is in the game, but Milkman is not in the game. And I think, contrary to however we may feel in these scenarios here talking about this, I do think that the addition of having the Subaru adds something, because it's like it's a reliable car, and it gives you all people might not know about cars, but it's like this thing in the back of your head from seeing commercials, or like if you watch racing, like a Subaru WRX or an Impreza is like a reliable car, and he has that, and it's known as a tuner. So in his time of like there's no more people. It's like a post-apocalyptic, right? Getting tuner parts would be much easier than if he had a BMW, which they do reference later. They do reference later to a BMW, right? And I think that adds to it.
Well, that's what we're going to get into. And see, the thing is, I was trying to find the scene right now because first off, this character, I know I've seen it, but I couldn't remember the name of this, so I figured maybe that was a good thing to bring in with you guys because I knew wasn't there a guy with the turret like this? I just can't remember the name of the vehicle though.
There was, but I don't think it was a pickup truck.
Oh, that's right. It was
an armored vehicle.
It was an armored vehicle with a guy on the turret.
So I'm trying to
like everyone had their special. Sorry to cut you off. Everyone had their special weapon, right? Like on his WRX, he gets the rocket launcher, which if you play the game,
the blood missiles.
But one of the cars does have a turret guy. I will look it up now, but I'll let you guys talk about it while I
think it was Stone's armored vehicle that had the turret.
No, because Stone we're going to come back to because that was another situation because of another character that's going to come into play later. But I wanted to bring up thing first off, and I wanted to pull it up, but I can't find it right now. And maybe if I just kind of skim through.
Keep talking, and I'll find this.
But
I know what he's trying to find. Yeah,
I'm trying to find the original. So for those that don't know, during this scene, the original version of Twisted Metal comes up. But it's the
long box.
That's exactly what it was. The long box PlayStation. So for people who don't know, that we did have the jewel cases, but for the longest time we had these long cases that
lands on the car. And I thought that was honestly, can I say this? One of my favorite Easter eggs in all of video game movies or TV.
Right?
Yeah.
Because not only did they reference
further ahead.
Not
that far ahead, but
not only did they reference the game directly, but they long boxed it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So for me as like a PlayStation guy, because as anyone who knows me in all our videos we do with JD or Putty.
Big box PC, baby.
Big box PC. But I grew up a Nintendo kid, and then I had my Sega Genesis, and then my Super Nintendo, and then my Nintendo 64. And when you first got to your PlayStation, I had a bunch of games off the top of my head. I can't remember, but for sure one of them was two of them. Grand Theft Auto.
You had it, Putty.
So hold on,
right there.
Hey, you're cutting me off. Okay, cut me off.
I'm trying to help Putty here.
Grand Theft Auto, Grand Theft Auto 2. When I first got my PlayStation, because I didn't know about Chinatown yet, where I could get burned games, I got Grand Theft Auto 2, and I got Warzone. And I got Twisted Metal in the long box. And for anyone who lives in North America, including Putty, who lives in the US, and me and JD are in Canada, knows that in the early days of PlayStation, you had the long boxes, but getting them in North America was like hard. And I gave it to my friend, and I do not have it now, and I'm so upset. Twisted Metal is the only long box I ever had.
That's funny, and there it is right there where we're trying to find it. This is what they're referring to, the false thing. And it's funny. I want to bring this up.
Outlaw was the character with the turret.
Outlaw.
So, it was Outlaw.
Was the cop. Outlaw was the cop.
There
were two cops. There was Stone and there was Outlaw. There were two different cops.
Outlaw was the one with the turret gun.
Okay. So that's what they make sure to I think because the Outlaw was a police car too, but I didn't know it had a turret on it.
It was a truck, right? It was
like an armored truck, and Stone had the police car.
Yeah. So there was one other thing too that I wanted to bring up before this, and I didn't get really to it. So I had brought this up with JD. If you notice, when he's switching CDs, he switched out for a CD called Jerky Boys. Okay,
of course,
the Jerky Boys.
Yes, that's what I was talking about the Crank Yankers before. So he pulls out Jerky Boys, but I want to go even deeper to this whole thing. When we talked about the whole music thing, I don't think a lot of people realize this. If you took the Twisted Metal games and put them in your CD, the music that was on those Twisted Metal games would play. So
as a CD, 100%.
So this actually goes.
Hold on, wait, can we just say something before you get into that? Because I think this is actually a good conversation. So for people who don't know, and you might know enough of old people lore to go back to this point, but there was like prank calls. And I would say the one that really blew up prank calls was the Aptar "You Kicked My Dog," right? But the leading wave of, I guess, prank calls was Crank Yankers, because it was a show and everything. But a lot of people looking back, younger audience, you'll know that. But what you don't know is before Crank Yankers, before You Kicked My Dog, was tell them, buddy.
Jerky Boys.
The Jerky Boys.
Two guys that did the most. Oh, they did some really bad. But luckily, one of the other guys.
Let's just say they'd be canceled right now.
But it doesn't. It's different. It's a different time.
Yeah, it was a different era.
But in the era of like internet, because at that point YouTube wasn't big. So I said Bing wasn't big. You had Jerky Boys, and then it led into
and
Crank
you would
Yankers.
trade CDs with friends, and you burn them.
Exactly, and it led into Crank Yankers, and in between both of those was the "You Kick My Dog" thing, which completely blew up prank calls.
Safe to say that was one of the first memes.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
it's one of the big YouTube videos in the very beginning of YouTube.
90%, but as far as like the Jerky Boys, 90% of the stuff you can't even say today. I mean, the only thing I can say, like, squeeze my ass, that literally might be the only thing I can actually say that technically is not bad. And like that's
the car salesman.
You know who's kind of a reflection of that era of prank calls, but also kind of it's not as bad, like maybe like culturally or religiously, whatever, in nowadays era, that came slightly after that is what's the band called that had Foxtrot, Unicorn,
Bloodhound Gang.
Bloodhound Gang. So Bloodhound Gang was like it's still bad, but it was in the perfect zone of leading from those prank calls into this new era of like Jackass. You know what I mean? Like they led into that Jackass
roof
era.
Is on fire.
Yeah.
We don't need no water. Let those mothers.
I don't remember what is all the words.
Foxtrot uniform Charlie Kilo. Which is military code, right? But if you take the
But yeah, they had the song "Bad Touch." And that led into like the popularity of YouTube videos and what we are now. And you know, like I know it's an odd conversation to have right now, but we all do YouTube, and without that, we wouldn't be where we are.
No, we wouldn't be where we are. Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, sure, if it wasn't, a lot of it wasn't PC, but
that's what made it funny.
We wouldn't.
I hate to say that.
The three of us wouldn't exist doing what we're doing without that.
No, I
probably
agree,
not.
100%.
All right, sorry to get off topic, buddy. We're still on episode 1.
Well, no, but this is a good point.
CAMPO, scream.
Yeah, so here's the thing. This is why I wanted to have this breakdown with you guys, because I feel like we're going to have so many past strings. Yeah, but here's the thing. So in this, Nev Campbell is playing a Raven. Raven in the video game actually drove the hearse, the funeral hearse. Okay.
Yep.
But there's also something else that I don't know if people noticed. In the story, it's actually Raven and her best friend named Kelly, okay? So I put something together, and it didn't work out for me when I did it, but I want to show you guys something that some people might not have noticed when it came to the Easter eggs. Her bar is named Kelly.
Called Kelly's, yeah.
I was so hoping you were going to do that, because I was like, isn't there a point where we see a Kelly's later? And you nailed it. Okay.
So, yes. Oh, this happened several times.
And they were the partners that drove the car.
Yes,
they drove the hearse.
They drove the hearse. Now, here's the thing, though. I actually thought
my favorite was still Spectre.
I actually thought maybe they were hinting at something because they're right here, but then we find out later that this is a different scenario. But if you remember Quiet here, which, by the way, Quiet I think is a new character. I'm not sure which one.
Quiet is a new character.
Yeah.
So if you notice, Quiet actually ends up driving this hearse, which Stone ends up taking. And so I figured maybe she was Kelly, because she had that hearse. But again,
she's not. But I agree with you that I had that moment.
Yeah, I mean, and I think because they did that
let's be honest. In especially, we talked about it in my review. We did like a 20-minute review, and managed to somehow hold back our tongue for a lot of the Easter eggs to say for this video. But throughout this show and all the stuff they drop, there's a really thin line of stuff that's new and old.
Mm-hmm.
There's not too much new and there's not too much old, but it's like a perfect meshing of the two.
Well,
did you guys notice that?
Yeah.
Do you feel the same way that I felt?
Well,
about
this
I knew Stone.
But wasn't Mortimer the original driver of the hearse, the funeral, the Undertaker guy?
It was maybe it was Mortimer.
No, I thought Raven and them
Raven's not the first one.
No, Mortimer and Raven were the first two drivers.
Mortimer and Raven are the first one, and then it's Kelly.
Yeah.
And then Kelly and Raven.
Okay.
You are right.
Okay.
But Stone is there.
Yes. And he's played perfectly by.
And I don't know if anyone who played the first game, like the characters, like we talked about in my review, don't really reflect what the game is. But if you were going by what characters in the first game should you play to have a good time and be kind of easy and be good at it, Stone was one of those characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and especially in I think he was introduced in Twisted Metal Black.
Wasn't he in 3?
No, 3 is the is Outlaw. Stone was
3 is still Outlaw. Okay, you're right.
Yeah. See, that's where I wanted to come in because
my bad. So I'm thinking of Outlaw. I take everything I just said back. Outlaw is the guy I'm thinking of from part 1.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. It's Sergeant Carl Roberts that was Outlaw, and that's the thing. I thought this was him originally when I saw it because
no, Stone comes later.
But that's my point.
Stone was introduced in Black. Yeah.
Thank you for like
those, you know what I mean.
Thank you for JD having really, really known the lore, and thank you for Putty for actually having looked into it to have the right answers. Because I don't want to be here just like I said. I played all these games. I was a huge Twisted Metal guy.
Yeah.
But like the lore is so odd.
Yeah, it is. It was because it was just like fighting games like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat.
Right here, this guy. Go back. Isn't this the black guy a character from one of the first games? Him.
I don't remember.
I wanted to ask JD this because I didn't get a chance to look into it. Isn't he one of the characters?
I think he might be. What was his name in the show?
Oh my god!
We can look it up. Casting, guys. I need some. We'll get some people in here looking for a cast right now.
Okay, I'll look at Twisted Metal characters. You guys look at the actual thing.
But okay, but let me going back. So again, the first episode didn't have as much lore. I would say it was more of like just getting characters into a thing. So of course we finally get introduced to the man himself,
Mojo,
the Mojo himself. Samoa Joe, aka Will Arnett, aka all playing the amazing Sweet Tooth, and we are eventually going to get to something later on that I was hoping they would do, and they do it later on, especially in the final battle. It's like, oh, they're doing it, you know what I mean? And I think you know exactly where I'm going. But the reason why when we talked in the review, we talked about how great these episodes were. To end the first episode with the introduction to Sweet Tooth was an amazing idea because that right there made everyone go, okay, I can't wait to get the second episode. They could have actually released these at a week, and I guarantee you we've all been sitting there waiting for the next episode.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And they missed an opportunity to keep people for like a couple months on Peacock. Like, I hate to put it that way, but it's true. Like, I feel like if they do the next season, I mean, I would rather have it all at once, but I feel like they missed an opportunity to actually do that.
Okay. He's Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not a main character in the game, but he's in the game.
He's someone's brother, I think.
Yeah, okay. So I wasn't incorrect, but I was incorrect.
He's not a playable character.
He's not one of the main people, but he is part of the game.
But that's still cool. See, that tells you right there they're pulling a lot from the lore. And that's why I want to do the breakdown, because I feel like there's going to be some things I even missed. Because there's a lot.
For me, the main people, like Axel, who was the double arm guy.
No, Axel.
We'll get to later, yeah.
Mr. Grimm.
Which was the biker.
Which we'll get
John
to later.
Doe, which is our guy. And then Sweet Tooth are the main like people that we know, and Spectre, but Spectre's
and
not in the
Dollface.
show, and Dollface.
And we'll get to that later too.
And I believe Bloody Mary is a character at some point.
Yes, and we're gonna get to that.
And Preacher.
We're gonna.
But Spectre was my guy, bro. Spectre had the little sports car, the little Porsche.
Yeah.
Okay, Putty, come on. We're still in the first episode.
I know, but that's what I'm trying to say. You guys, but again, this ends up with her taking over, well, not taking over, but joining him, I guess you could say, in the car. And of course we end with Sweet Tooth's vehicle and then being warned about it, and we go into which is now
Sweet Tooth is the name of the truck.
Yes, Sweet Tooth. Yeah, no, we're gonna get that.
A lot of people don't know that, but in the show it's not.
It's Kane. What's his name? Needles Kane
Kane. But in the show, it's not.
Yeah.
Yep.
In the show, Sweet Tooth is the guy.
So again, going back, we're now in episode 2. Going back to the license plate thing, every episode does it and everything.
Go ahead, little Parko.
Yeah, exactly. So the first people we're going to be introduced to is one of my two of my favorite characters, which I'm going to try to get to right now, is of course Mike and Stu. Okay, so Mike and Stu got kidnapped by cannibals. Which, by the way, I don't know if the cannibals are any characters in the thing. No. If anybody knows, but I do know we talked about this in the review. Stu and Mike are two guys that drive a monster truck, which we don't get to see, unfortunately, but we do get to see their personalities, I guess, because I feel like they did really have that stoner kind of feel like to them, like they were like we were looking for. They definitely did take liberty with these characters. I will say that. In
the actual game, there is like a storyline. I would say,
yeah.
To be honest with you, I haven't played these since they came out, but I do have a really good recollection of it. But there is a storyline exists. But mostly it's characters, right? So it's kind of like if you played, I know there's no characters in it, but if you played Gran Turismo or like Forza, it would be like if they had characters, but a storyline is really non-existent until the later games. So in the early games, there is no storyline. It's just like Mario Kart, right? Yeah. You're Mario or Luigi, so Spectre exists and Sweet Tooth exists and all these things.
And there might be just a little bio that says, "I'm here for the tournament because I want to get this girl."
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And then later, an actual storyline in like Black. There's a real storyline.
Which of course we will be getting into all the. Which, by the way, guys, we'll be getting to every single video game in JD's video. So if you don't,
and they took a lot of elements from Twisted Metal Black into this show.
Yeah.
They did. Oh, and I'm so happy they did too.
Because they had to, because there is no storyline in the first 3 games.
There he is.
Now, before we get into that, all about him and everything, there's one point here, and I think it was actually in the beginning here, and I might just moved it, and I don't know why. But if you notice, and I'm trying to find where it might be, John Doe actually has to start the car, and so he does his own version of the Konami code.
He does.
Did you guys notice
that? Yes, that code is. I can tell you that right now.
Wait, didn't one of you tell me that? I swear one of you told me that.
It's the code for invincibility in Twisted Metal.
Yes, there it is. Thank you. I knew it was like one of those. I just couldn't remember. I just used the Konami code as a reference tool and everything. But yes, so they did. He does the code in the vehicle, and then of course we finally meet them up with, which is Sweet Tooth. Now, Sweet Tooth is in Vegas, and he's just taking his own little thing. And what makes this scene so great, which I'm trying to get to it right now, is when they finally get into the I'm trying to figure out. Oh, it's should be right around here. We actually see the first glimpse of the asylum. So he's actually using a bedding that actually says the insane asylum from Twisted Metal Black.
It's his jumpsuit. It's his jumpsuit.
Okay, the jumpsuit. Okay, so you actually see it. So that was the first hint that we got.
But tell me he's not the perfect. Like, look at him. Like he is the perfect.
He does. No one else can pull this off.
Like even the mask. The mask is like spot on.
And see, I wanted to go back because
this is the thing. And in the games, you don't see the physicality of the character. You just know the size.
Well, then it wasn't until Black. They actually showed.
I'm saying the imposing imposition,
menacing,
menacingness of the character, and he nailed it, man. He fucking nails it because Stu feels big. I know he feels like a soft giant, like a gentle giant, but like even when he looks at Sweet Tooth, he's like, whoa, like.
Yeah, right. I can't believe what I'm seeing here, but it's one of those things where
this is the makings of a true psychopath. Are you gonna stay for my show? Honestly,
And again, that's what you want with Sweet Tooth. Like if you, they knew what the character was, and I was hoping to get the Blackfield. There it is. There's the Blackfield. But this is the one to bring up thing. This is also the first time we see his real name, Kane. So in the books, his name is actual Needles Kane. Marcus Kane, but they call him Needles. And I was like, are they going to pay off the needles? And we even get that later on. Like every little bit, they took time on this. They really showed love.
That's gotta be Kane.
My argument, remember from my review, was when you look at the Detective Pikachus and the Sonics and whatever, this game doesn't really have a lore to play on, but they played on the best parts of it. They knew this is dumb as shit. Where it's like with Mario, the thing that I don't respect about I love Sonic, both movies, and Detective Pikachu, and like many others, and I think the Mario movie is a fun time. But my issue with the Mario movie is they played so heavily to our generation.
Oh, Harold.
Right? Yes.
They in Super Mario, they played so heavily to us, but then the movie feels like it's not for us. Do you know what I mean? Like they're all like, how do you have a 120-minute movie where 110 minutes of it is references to adults, but it's made for little kids?
Yeah.
And then you don't pay off anything. You know why Sonic works? Because it plays to both sides and it pays off. You know why Detective Pikachu works? Because it takes something you know and you love and spins it on its head and gives us a whole new fucking story. That's why it works. That's why Street Fighter 2, the anime, works. And, you know, Twisted Metal works because it's like, oh, you remember this game? Well, there's no fucking lore to it. We're going to give you whatever you know. We're going to have fun. And I had fun.
But what's great is they took elements of lore they did have. And like, for example, Harold's a prime example, since we're right here with Harold. Harold actually was a bag he actually talked to, and they actually
the wacky
was
lunch
part of the
sack.
story. Yeah.
That was his prize for winning the first Twisted Metal game. I remember like Calypso's like, you can't be serious.
No, and it's like I fully agree with you guys. I just think it did it. It understood the assignment.
And see, the great thing about this, when you watch this too, like little subtles to this, he even says "see you soon," which is literally a catchphrase he does in the game, like "see you soon." You know what I mean? Like,
this is a thing, right? And you know me, we've done how many videos today?
Yeah, with more to do still.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially with how I am. I'm a person I mean, you guys are pretty actually good at this, but compared to most people that review anything, I push my feelings aside. I will factor in my feelings a little bit into my ratings, but I look at things objectively because I don't care. I'll say this out loud. I don't think art is objective. I think people that say art is objective is people who make bad art. People who create bad songs say art is objective. You know, you don't hear people who create great music consistently say that. It's like, and this is like something, and I hope people get to this point of the video to hear me say this, because Francis Ford Coppola, he recently made an Instagram, right? And he's very communicative with his fans, and he's really engrossed in the community all of a sudden, you know, in Instagram. He's never had an Instagram. But recently he made a post and he was like, art is subjective and you shouldn't put a number to art and rank it based on a thing. And it's like, there's certain aspects of media that I will agree with that on, right? There's certain video games that are really good, but maybe they don't have the graphics or the money behind it to get that. And there's certain movies that, like, maybe sure, I'll give it an 8, but it doesn't have the money behind it or the quality to get it a 9. And I understand that, TV shows, whatever, right? But like, and this is a guy that I truly respect. The Godfather 2, Apocalypse Now, right? I'm not going to name every movie in his filmography. Masterpieces. He's a creator of masterpieces. But for 30 years, he's made nothing but garbage. And and take that how you want, because this is, like I said, a guy that I love, who is spawned off of my favorite director, which is Sergio Leone. And I don't mean this to sound harsh, but I mean this to, like, get the idea out there. Everything is objective. Yes, there's subjective takes. Do I like Twisted Metal more than I would rate it objectively? Absolutely, because it's a fun time. But I have to admit, there's points of it where it's like, it's not all there, right? And you guys will agree with me on this. And it's weird to call Francis Ford Coppola, of all people, who made like so many masterpieces. Oh, but it's like, when you break down his career, it's only people when you're on top, when you're making Godfather 2s, you don't complain about reviews. You don't complain about the way people see your media. When you're making Grand Theft Auto Vice Cities and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas's, you're not complaining about what people think about your games. It's once you're making Grand Theft Auto, I mean, there's not a lot of bad ones, but like Liberty City Stories, or when you're making not necessarily Rumblefish, but like Twixt, if you're Francis Ford Coppola. And it's like, then when people start to criticize you, you spent years being praised, right? And you feel like you're at the top of this level. You're at the top of the mountain, and when people start to break you down, you get offended. Thank you. And it's like, it's no disrespect to you. You made legitimate masterpieces, right? And I don't want to spend all day on this, but it's like, but don't make posts like that. I hate that. It's like artists, right? Salvador Dali. How many great Salvador Dali paintings are there? There's amazing ones, right? But how many bad ones are there? How many bad Picassos are there? And it's like, okay, sure, he has this many masterpieces, and it's not to take away from this guy, but don't tell me I shouldn't judge you on your bad stuff when you made that. I might like modern art, okay? I might prefer modern art over Renaissance art, let's say, okay?
Okay.
But even as a person who loves modern art, if you showed me every modern artist, not all of them, but all the most popular ones.
Okay, take someone like Banksy, for example.
Right? Okay, so but just for example, you showed me every single modern artist. And my opinion is I love modern art. I'm sure out of those modern art pieces you show me, I'm going to have a couple where I'm going to be like, well, this one's bad. And you know why it's bad? Because objectively, I think it's a lower quality
than what's been out
product there. Because art is not subjective. It's objective. Your feelings of art is subjective,
and reactive.
But exactly. And all art is objective, right? So like I might like certain movies more than other movies, but it doesn't make it better than the other ones. And with Twisted Metal, I think people need to look at this as like, I give it a 7.5. I think it's a really good time. I think you'll have such a good time with it. But I think objectively, there's so many gaps. But comparatively to the source material, there isn't anything to pull from. Yeah. So to have this is kind of like, wow, I can't believe you made
special,
this. Does that make sense? I know it took so long to explain that.
No, it makes total sense, but yeah.
Now, it's like there's nothing to pull from here. To get what we got is like, holy shit.
Well, that's the reason why I'm
also so fun.
I'm going to use this as a parallel to what we're doing right now. See, we've been trying to do all this stuff when it came to podcasts and everything. And like when we were talking about doing the Twisted Metal review, I had already said I'm going to do a review. We've done it before. We've done reviews together. I've done by myself. And I love doing my breakdowns. But this is why I wanted to do this. Because here's the thing. You guys have already filled in stuff. Like, for example, this episode, I couldn't find any more Easter eggs. If you guys know any more, please jump in.
Yeah, I think that's it for this episode.
Yeah. And see, that's where I wanted to bring it up is because subjectively, as we're sitting here going through this, the dialogue and everything is making this more of an art form itself. So when I post this, people are going to be enthralled and be like, oh my God, I can't believe they're actually sitting here like going through these videos and like talking about certain scenes. I'm excited because I saw these episodes and I wanted to say something about that. And it's going to give me an opportunity to comment.
Personally, I don't know, I can't speak for JD, but I personally, for your channel, would like to do more of this kind of stuff with you.
Oh, I'm down.
I think 100%. This is fun.
And we also got to, there's another character who dies actually in this episode. Him.
Okay. So was he in the game? I don't know.
Agent Shepard. He was in Twisted Metal Head On. He was
so okay. I was nailed that.
He entered the tournament just to arrest Calypso.
Okay.
He was the authoritative.
Oh, there's another character we didn't say, Calypso.
Well, no, we're getting to that. We're gonna get to that. It hasn't come in yet. It'll come in later. Believe me,
Yeah.
it will.
But
it'll
he
come
was, and Agent Stone was actually his subsidiary.
Mhm.
Oh, so they reversed it.
They reversed the roles
They
here.
reversed it for this.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, and we're gonna get into your video about this as well. But I'll just bring it up now. Heads On is actually an expansion of Black, where they give you extra levels. But I knew there were new extra characters in there too, and I was like, "Who were the extra characters?" You literally just blew my mind because that was the one thing I couldn't figure out. I was like, "Did they bring any characters from Heads On?" And you literally just, I didn't know who he was. I was like, "Where have I seen? Like, where did I know this guy?" I couldn't figure it out. So thank you. There was literally one thing in the breakdown I didn't have, and I'm like so glad to have.
See,
you
I
for
brought
that.
something to the table.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a prime example. This episode, I actually had a little bit of flaw finding Easter eggs. The only thing I thought was, until we got to later, is I thought this guy, if we could get to it, he might have been early on, I think. There was a guy that had like these things around his shoulders, like these back things, and I thought maybe that was the representation of Axel. So if you guys know of any Easter eggs, so I feel like this was more of a lore, like building their own lore
This was,
story.
yeah.
And so
This was more of Stone's backstory.
okay, perfect. So I want to make sure that, but it's this scene, this guy. Who is this? I thought maybe they were making this guy Axel, and I can't figure out who he is.
No, I think he was just one of the Raiders from the first episode.
Okay, so I was wondering about that too. So I figured maybe this was the representation of Axel, and I noted that. Then, of course, later on we get that later on, which will
Unless
definitely
it's
be
someone
talked
who
about.
hasn't been revealed yet.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, and I don't know who this is, but you can see why I thought maybe they were just using this as a way of representing Axel, because how are you going to make that? But then apparently you're going to make that.
Look at the long hair.
Yeah, see, that was the thing that drew me off. But I don't know if that's hair or if that's. Oh no, you're right. It is hair. Oh, that could be a girl.
Right?
Very feminine hands. Ooh, we may have a secret character that. Oh no, but this character dies.
Yeah, this character dies. So I think it's just a random character.
Okay, so then I was wondering about
Mind
that.
you,
There
Shepard dies in this episode. Anyway, is it this episode or the next one?
I don't remember if it's this one or not. Let me see here real quick.
Where she catches him beaten off and here.
Oh yeah, well maybe I want to show that part, but yeah, because this is gonna be on YouTube. But yeah, right there, I don't want to show maybe we shouldn't show it. But anyway, but yeah, so that kills off Shepard. So I'll be honest with you, I don't think episode 3 had much Easter eggs. If they are, comment below.
Yeah.
I know we're gonna definitely get more and more and more, especially with
4,
later
I
episodes.
think. 4 had quite a few.
Especially here. So this is the one that is the granddaddy of Easter eggs. I feel like a lot of characters in this one. So starting with it is which is what they get picked up in the back of the semi is her.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Amanda Watts. Okay, now Amanda Watts was the one that actually was of course back in the semi. Her vehicle in the game was a F1 race car, which
called Twister.
Called Twister, which so happens we actually eventually get in this story. Which when I saw that, I was like,
a few episodes later, yeah.
Yes, exactly. But we actually see at the end of it. Remember, she actually shows off the car.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Just a second. But then we go through the episode. We start meeting people, and of course, we got Granny Dread. I can't believe we got Granny Dread. This episode, for you guys, if you don't know, has a lot of Easter eggs. Okay, so Granny Dread was actually the one on the Hammerhead. So this was the confusion thing with Granny Dread. Didn't the Hammerhead get owned by both?
No, Hammerhead was. Yeah. Hammerhead was Mike and Stu, but she had a Hammerhead before. After she took over, because Mike and Stu drove Hammerhead in 2, and she had Hammerhead in 3.
I knew there was a connection in there. Okay, so I knew because I was like, I know she had to drive the monster truck because it was a big joke about that. You know what I mean? Oh, grandma driving a monster truck. Well, so here's my thing. As we go through these episodes, there is more and more, but my favorite is going to be coming up next. So again, we told you guys there are a lot of Easter eggs and everything, and this is when we get into Amy's character. Now, for those that don't know, the character she's playing is actually blonde in the video game. Her name is Flower Power. Okay, Flower Power is a very hippie type character that believes in plants. And well, if you've seen the episode, you know she's really into plants. What made me love this episode more was that I don't know if you guys noticed it, and I'm hoping they show it. I remember exactly what I think it's when she's walking away here.
The bug.
Yes, you actually see her vehicle. I don't know if you noticed it, Campo. So I was going to.
But she didn't drive a bug in the game, though. She drove. It was like a Ford, Escort type of thing.
Well, it looked like it was supposed to be bug, but remember because the copyright Volkswagen, they wouldn't allow them to, so they made a modified version of it. Which I was trying. Oh, here it is
At the end,
yeah.
There's Twister.
Yeah, so there's Twister. For those that don't know, oh shoot, well, I hate that it won't let me, like, it skips too far in. So let me see if I can get it to. No, it's not letting me. But anyway, so Twister. Oh, well, slowly
Just
we're
let
getting
it play for a second. Pause.
Okay, there we go. There it is.
There you
There's the
go.
Twister. There's the F1. So she's still built. It okay. It does kind of look like the finished. Like it looks like it's
It's
finished.
not finished yet. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like maybe she's still building, I guess, throughout the later episodes.
Yeah.
And then of course, if we move forward, we finally see the bug, which again, these are the things that if you're not a fan of the show or the games, you're gonna be like, I totally missed that. But for people that played the game, the whole flower power movement was a great idea with the bug. So I know that's what they were paying tribute to there, and it works perfectly. She's a flower child, you know what I mean? Of course, we do also have a note where they actually talk about being in the movies. For those that may have not known, when they were talking about cowboys and mechanical spiders, they were talking about Wild Wild West. So in case you didn't know, that's the
and that's
Easter
a good
egg
one.
there.
I like that one.
Yeah.
So but yeah, at the end we do end up towards the death. We do finally get to see the Twister here.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing car, and we do also see that flower power and of course Amy Watts get back together. But that pretty much ends the Easter eggs in there. Was there anything I might have missed in here
I think you nailed all of it.
Okay.
The only thing though is the rig. The rig gets blown up. So is Dollface getting Darkseid in the second season then?
That's what I'm saying. Well, see, I think we're going into Dollface next thing, so that she might be part of that. It might be connected, and I think they're going to do that. You know, which
guys, give me a second. I gotta make a little pee-pee. You guys continue to the next episode.
All right.
I'll turn off my video. So
let's go to episode 5, Putty.
So we are going to episode 5 now.
Detective John Kimball. I'm a cop, you idiot.
I'm a cop, you idiot.
All right. So next episode we're going into again, another time I kept that. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Look what it's called. It's called Crossroads, and it's appropriately titled for this episode because this is where they meet. They have that impasse whether they want to stay with each other or not. Like
exactly.
Yeah.
And I want to go into this another thing, and this is just another reference to me looking for things. But at one point, if you remember, she runs into that guy, and I think it's around. No, it's actually before then. I'm pretty sure. Trying to find. I think it was right here. I can't remember. But anyway, the guy, the same situation. He has the tires on his shoulder.
Yeah, so I think these are just like random outlaws kind of thing.
And I'm getting it. They're using the tires thing for like a reference to like, oh, they're just outlaws, that kind of thing.
They might be with the Holy Men.
Well, that's what that they note that, and that's actually it says here, Holy Man. I said, holy crap, preacher. And right, just off there. So we get the reference to Holy Man finally in this episode, but we don't actually get to see him. And I mean, waiting on Campo to get here, so I guess we'll go through some of the stuff. But like, I do like that we do see her flashbacking, going to flashbacks with her brother. And about her psychologically kind of going crazy.
Yeah, she's going a little crazy from it.
So, I mean, here's my thing. I don't know if Quiet is just a secret character. Like, I've been sitting here trying to think of what Quiet might be. And I mean, do you think
I think Quiet is just specifically for the show. So that's a great that's a great face you left it on.
But I mean, that's the thing. I feel like Quiet might be what's his name from the Mortal Kombat movie, where it's like, hey, we're giving you somebody that's not in this world. But in the same sense, John Doe was too. You know what I mean? But he ends up getting, you know, the vehicle he wants.
And the thing is, the two cops in this episode are also in Twisted Metal as well.
No way, really? So the ones,
okay. So there's multiple vehicles.
You're talking about the brother and sister cops, right?
Roberts, Carl, and Jamie Roberts. They drive the Outlaw before.
They were towards the end, weren't they?
No, I don't remember, but they drive Outlaw. The car is Outlaw, and they have it. These two guys here, they have Outlaw before Stoned. So Outlaw is their vehicle, and then Stone.
So remember how we were talking about Outlaw earlier?
Yeah,
it's like a retroactive. It's like a prequel kind of.
So did they basically just say, like, because there's a lot. I didn't know Outlaw went through so many characters. Like, is there literally like 3 different
call
people?
Me Gunter.
Yeah,
I mean that's crazy. So you're talking about these two right here. Okay,
yes, they were the original brother and sister cop team who drove Outlaw, and then Stone took over.
Okay, and now they work for Stone, which wow, linking
Right.
that's incredible. Like this is why we're giving high love to this show, because of simple things like that impact it. And I mean,
That's where
again,
Stu and
they
they become best friends.
This is where I fell in love with, like, I love Stu now, because I was like, oh, thank God, Stu's getting to be like buddies with him, and like
I think
he's that comedy relief character that works so well.
You know what?
Yeah.
I think it was oh my God. I want to say episode 7. I don't know for sure if it was episode 7 or episode 6, but you know when the cops actually come, the Stone's force, and they like kill all of his fans, but then they think that Stone is dead and his black friend is there, and he has like the jelly on his head, and he's like, I didn't want to kill it. And then that's when, for me, I really was like, oh, I love this guy. He's like, that's your dog. He's like, you keep your dog.
You keep your dog. Yeah.
I think that is episode 7, because that's
7.
Yeah, which we're actually going to be going into. But this is also when he also tells him, you've got fans, and he starts going in. It's funny. It's such a funny thing that he uses that, because who is the one thing that everyone's a fan of when it comes to Twisted Metal? Sweet Tooth. So for them to play that whole, again, it's the whole CD thing. Like they're playing off these little things that were.
Can I give you one thing I don't like? I know this is spoilers for, like I said, I think it's episode 7. But I really liked how he was going around and getting his like posse, because in the beginning they try to make you not like Sweet Tooth, but at the same time give you this opinion of like, if you don't mess with him, he doesn't mess with you, type of thing. And he might be the person they need to help beat the cops, right?
Yeah.
But every time he gets fans, they kill off the fans, and you're like, oh, it's like, it doesn't make, to me, that didn't make sense. I was like,
well,
why
see,
do you
now,
keep doing
and
that?
then the cop was the one that killed all his fans, so now he has motivation.
He's the dog.
Exactly, yeah. And see, actually, let's just go ahead and get into it now, because I didn't see any other ones. If you guys have any, just tell me. We can always go back.
No, 6.
But like, yeah,
I don't even know if episode 7 has any Easter eggs.
No, 7 does. 7 has some stuff.
No, we missed 6.
No, 6 has no. 6 has no Easter egg.
6 has no Easter. Wasn't 6 with Bloody Mary?
No. 6 is, yeah, he's right. 6. I didn't mean to skip 6. Sorry. Yeah, he's totally right. Okay.
Oh, you're right. Oh my God, you're right.
With Bloody Mary.
There's a lot.
I'm thinking 7 is Bloody Mary. You're right.
Oh no. You'll understand why. There's also one thing, and literally the beginning.
No. JD's right. JD's right with my.
No, I know, but there's
right
no. But as far as Mary Jane, but like there's a part. Not in the origins, but
you know how many days I am with the Intercontinental Championship? I don't know, since I bought it.
But like, for example, when they're here,
this is that's the mental institution scene.
Okay, no, well, this is actually where they're inside the thing, and remember, she's going through the whole talking about or thinking back to her brother's ordeal with those people and everything. If you remember, they're stuck here because of a Watkins storm, and if you remember, Watkins was actually the name of the harbor, Watkins Harbor. No, they're in the Watkins storm right now. That's what we're talking about.
Oh, no, episode 6. We're on episode 6. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I thought we skipped episode 7.
No, wait.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of really fun elements here with the burger place and how they give you that backstory of how they made people slaves with the option of, if you were my slave for this many years, you'll go free. And then that one girl comes to the window and she's like, oh, when will I be free? You know, and I was like, oh, that's what got me. And she sees her brother again.
Well, this is another reason I want to bring
because
this up.
she's not allowed to speak. That's why they called her quiet, and she feels guilty because she's the one who got them in that.
And see, it's funny.
Campbell's just posing with the IC belt.
I love the twisted because I mean, this show's called Twisted Metal. We know why it's called Twisted Metal, but it's starting to feel like even the show itself is such a twisted show, because you have all these backgrounds of like when society goes crippling, so people start treating their societies in different ways, and that's exactly a prime point right here. She goes through all this that makes her stronger, but this just shows how mental people get. You know what I mean? Which of course also introduces us to another character, which, you know, we'll definitely get into later. But if you remember, she actually ends up getting the hearse from this section. I'm actually
thinking the hearse driver, the one they killed, is what's his name?
Who?
The guy I mentioned at the beginning of the episode.
Preacher?
The original the original driver of the hearse, the funeral director guy.
Oh my God. We talked about this at length.
Yeah. The name escapes me now, but
oh my gosh!
But I think the guy she kills is the original driver of that hearse, and that's how they end up with it.
Which that's why that well again that's the reason. Remember originally because of how they set things up, I thought she might be Kelly. You know what I mean? Yeah, him. So I thought maybe she could be Kelly because of the Hearst situation. Which again,
isn't it It's Shadow, right?
Shadow, yes.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Okay.
The Hearst's name was Shadow.
Thank you, Google.
So this Hearst, I love that this Hearst comes back several times, which also still in some ways connects to Raven, which just makes such an intertwining story. Like, what if she has to do with some of this stuff too, and we just don't know it? Which means that they could go back to this whole story, and she goes, "Oh yeah, I used to drive that thing all the time. It's a wreck now." Like things like that could be nods, but that's what I'm trying to. Why I wanted to do this video is because there were so many intricate parts to these episodes that I was a little bit like, oh my God, I'm excited to talk about this, but I felt like this is better just to talk together, which leads us into what they were going into was going to Chicago. And I'm trying to get to it if I can get to it. But I don't think they're going to let me get to it unless I just literally play it without, don't want to get copyright. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for, oh God, right. It's like right there. Are they not going to let me get close enough to it? There it is.
Two-time.
Mm-hmm. And we end it with the biggest Easter egg that I was so excited when I saw it. I said, "Are we going to get any mention?"
You saw the Calypso, yubby.
Yeah, there is the Calypso's real, and that made me go, "Oh my God, Calypso's in here somehow." Now, here's my thing. I thought maybe they were just trying to be nice and bring it in there, but for them to focus that at the end, I'm like, they're going to bring it up. They're going to bring it up, which leads us into like how many episodes? We still have plenty of episodes.
Which leads us into next Friday when I go to SmackDown and I buy an actual belt.
Which leads us into the Nut House episode, which the naming on these are just freaking amazing. Yeah. I don't think anybody else.
I'm a little bit of Cody Rhodes and a little bit of Gunther. Right?
Mortimer.
That's the name.
There you go.
But a little bit of Cody Rhodes and a little bit of Gunther.
So for this one, we finally get the Sweet Tooth origin, which I love that they did this whole motif of like old 80s sitcoms.
Yeah.
Okay, talk about this. I'm going to put these away. I don't know why I took these out. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry for ruining your video. I love you.
It's okay. He got excited to wrestling.
It's okay. We'll get into that eventually.
Yeah.
But I like it. He's jealous of his co-star, and it's like your co-star's a dog.
Yeah, I love that reveal. It was such a good, and this is also where he meets the bag for the first time too.
Yes,
which I love that
they speak that. With. I love the fact that we have not seen Calypso yet.
Yes. Okay, so
which version of Calypso are we going to get? Are we going to get the long hair with no face Calypso?
I hope.
Are we going to get the bald head Calypso?
I want the long hair. I really want the long hair because it looks so much cooler to me. Honestly, I think so. I mean, I don't know.
There's Bloody Mary. There's Campo.
That's what I was trying to get to. I was waiting for Campo to get back before we get to it. But yeah, there are some things like the Calypso. They go back to Blackfield. If you remember, this is where they go to Blackfield, and Blackfield is a major part of Twisted Metal Black.
That is the asylum where Kane was originally held.
And I love that everything about this talks about like his family.
And there's your Bloody Mary, Campo.
Okay, so it's gonna be so fun. We're gonna get more. So here's Bloody Mary, which, by the way, I'm so excited that Bloody Mary is played by Cleo. This girl is actually a Saturday Night Live cast member.
Live,
she was so great.
Loves Saturday Night Live.
I do. And she,
I would say, can I say something?
Perfectly. Good.
Of the modern, I guess the most modern cast of Saturday Night Live, period. I would lean back a little bit, even to like previous years, but like let's just say 2023. Of the most modern cast of Saturday Night Live, it's between her and Melissa. What's her name?
Melissa. Melissa.
Oh my God, what's her name?
Villaseñor. Melissa. Yeah. She has like her own YouTube thing
Melissa
and everything.
Villaseñor. Her and Melissa and Kenan Thompson is my peak of the modern Saturday Night Live because I think she does such good impressions of celebrities.
Yes,
to the point where she's on HBO shows now. She was on that show with The Weeknd and Lily Rose Depp.
So I wanted to get.
She's known for her Lily Rose Depp impression, which is funny, and now they're like friends. Yeah,
and you're gonna get Spectre obviously now because there's Mary.
Yeah. So here was the thing. I wanted to get to it when they start talking about it. And I don't.
Thank
here we
you.
go.
Thank you for calling that out, JD, because I love me some Spectre.
Okay. So for those that
do I
aren't
sound
aware,
bad when I do that?
No.
Okay, when I go close to the
so
mic,
for those that know, this is
confident.
Pizza Boy. Pizza Boy drove the pizza delivery car. Here we have, yeah. Wow, really? Too soon. Anyway, and then here we have, which is Denise Flowers, aka Petunia, which plays the drag woman.
I wish we got more
of these characters. Yeah,
this is not even these characters, because Pizza Boy, as little as he's in the show, he kind of has this like small development or like a little bit of an arc of a character.
Yeah.
Petunia has nothing.
No.
And I think she is a way more interesting character than Pizza Boy is.
I agree.
Oh, and can we talk about the watermelon?
Okay, so Mr. Slam the reason
Mr.
they call him Mr. Slam in the game is because Mr. Slam would use the construction vehicle and slam down the front part of the construction vehicle. Well, they changed the story for this show, which I'm not going to show you on here, by the way. But let's just say he uses something of an anatomy to slam watermelons.
His penis.
Well, there goes my monetization.
He drives.
We're too deep at this point. This video is an hour long.
But and then the other one
hold on. If you made it this far and heard me say that, comment below that Putty's a legend.
Okay, there you go. The other one I'm trying to show too is it comes up right about here, which is Pit Viper. Agent M&X, which I'm having trouble getting her to pop up, but basically this whole scene is just a fest of characters that they're throwing out there.
Minor characters,
and minor characters: Pit Viper, Drag Queen, Pizza
Boy,
and I mean, this was the best pulling of Easter eggs you could ever do, but they literally just put it right in front of your face. If you don't know these characters, we're gonna name them off for you, just have a little fun. But yeah, and if you don't realize it, these are all characters in the games. I'm glad they did that. And I mean, we do still get more of Needle's backstory, things of that nature. And then
there's the watermelon.
Show the outline.
A lot of gore. But I mean, I was the only the Easter eggs I could say I found in this episode.
Yeah.
Again, at any point in the video, guys, if you say, "Hey, you missed this," please tell us, because we would love to like maybe go back into like RLG cast and go back into some of these if we can. But with that being said, we do have to move on. So we're going to go into probably one of the saddest episodes ever.
Yeah.
Honestly. And I'm surprised to say this, which is the Evelyn, but also one of the best casting ever.
Jason Mantzoukas as Preacher. Oh my God.
So for those that don't know, Preacher is a character that what the vehicle is called a road boat. It was just like a big ass car, basically. You know what I mean?
Wasn't Preacher the one who condemned Sweet Tooth?
Yes, I think so. Yeah. So getting into that, actually, here's where we find all the holy men. But I want to get to who. Where is he? Oh, there he goes.
Jason Mantzoukas.
Jason Mantzoukas as Preacher. Oh God, I want to get a good shot of him, especially in his Preacher outfit. Like, it's so amazing in his Preacher outfit. It's so great.
This is Raffi from the League. Where'd you get that hot dog? Don't worry about it.
Oh my God, he's so good in that. Holy shit.
So again, another character. Again, they did so good in pulling from so many characters from the game, but the casting. I mean, can we mention what the amazing casting of this was? Now, here's my thing. How did you guys feel when it came to like his part of this? Because like he's gone. He's now not gone dead, but like he possibly can come back. You know what I mean?
He can, yeah.
Yeah. And so I feel like he is going to be in the tournament, which we'll get to later. But this also brings up the whole thing with like the whole Evelyn story. Do we feel like that maybe that's going to happen with a lot of other characters that don't have vehicles, that they're going to get that drive to get that vehicle that you're looking for? Because I feel like they are going to realize the fanfare on this was a big part of why we loved it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's going to be the draw for some of these episodes, because even in this episode, we do see the death of Evelyn, but at the same time, this is also when we get the birth of
Evelyn.
Of Evelyn, as in like we show the birth, and then with her death we end up getting what is the original John Doe vehicle. So I'm just gonna skip into it and just say it.
Yeah,
we get
roadkill.
We finally get roadkill. So Evelyn's death
is this the one with the mini Twisted Metal tournament?
Okay, so yes. No. Actually, no. This is not. This is the next.
Oh, it's the final episode. Yeah.
Yes. So in this episode, this is the roadkill episode where we finally get his roadkill. Now, the one thing I got really excited about is when they spark it up, and it's going to happen at the end. But we do start getting a little more of what is the game, the Twisted Metal with the thing. Now, going back to the whole CD thing again, I love that they bring back, which again, I can never seem to get the thing to line up. But the vehicle you see right here is the original John Doe's vehicle of Roadkill.
Yep. Roadkill.
And so it's nice to see that they finally found a way to implement it. And I like it because now it's her in his car. So even though she's gone, well, I guess it's kind of hard to explain that, especially for the ending, because she ends up taking the car and he goes into Shangri-La.
She's the new milk, technically in a way. Yeah.
But I mean, that also means like it's kind of like he got his car finally, but now she's got it. Like it was one of those broken things. Like so as a fan, I can probably predict that they are going to get back together no matter what because of the car being with John Doe, and that's the only way I can implement that. But and a lot of this, we were getting a lot of the things that were to come. For example, you brought it up. Okay, so this is the one I wanted to talk about. I hear you were talking about.
Clearly, that's not Brimstone.
Okay, so there's a roadkill.
But I thought it was gonna be.
See, that's what I was about to talk to you guys about too. Like, did you think that was going to end up being?
I thought it was going to be Brimstone,
but then it gets destroyed, right? So
exactly, yeah. But this is where we actually find the final battle, and I love the ending because if you remember,
there's the hearse. Did you see the hearse?
Where is that? Oh yeah. Okay, wait, where? Oh, there it is. Yeah. See, okay. So basically, when I was here, I actually stopped to see if there were any vehicles that I could find. So that's another thing, guys. If you found any vehicles that were in this that were like in the game, please point out because I want to go back and find it. But this is also when we finally get Twister in the play when she literally is about to bring it in her outfit. So I'm just gonna be honest with you. This was more of just getting excited for things we knew was going to happen.
Twister is introduced to us in the episode where Gran dies or whatever.
Yes.
Right?
Well, it is. Yeah. You weren't.
But this is where we
But this is where we meet the actual.
Yeah, exactly.
She's ready for battle, kind of thing.
Exactly. And see, I can't remember. I thought it was at the end here, but I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure it was. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for.
The iconic.
So we find yes. So people are like, why is his head on fire? Why is that a big deal? In the video games, he does have his head on fire, and it really never made sense. And honestly, it doesn't make sense in this either. But you know what? Throw it out the window. It's
fucking cares. I love it.
The fact that he doused his head in lighter fluid. He goes, "I'll give you the signal when to do it."
I love it.
And I love that
it's hard. Right, like I know
they look like they're juggalos or something.
Between my video and this video, and now we still haven't filmed JD's video. If you made it this far here,
hello live in the video.
It's like I can't stress enough how good Samoa Joe and Will Arnett are.
Yeah,
as Sweet Tooth.
It's amazing. And then even like right here, these little
the king of TV.
Yeah. Oh God.
He literally is.
It's amazing. And so with that being said, we finally go into that last episode, which the last episode by far in my eyes is probably one of the best episodes because it's just really eventful.
But I think it doesn't have that many. It doesn't. There's like one really big.
I love this little mini Twisted Metal tournament. That's probably one of the biggest things we get from there.
And they did a good job of it.
I wouldn't call that an Easter egg though.
No.
I think this show has one specific Easter egg. Did you guys get it?
Yeah, there's Twister.
Did you guys get the one specific Easter egg that I'm thinking? I'm gonna wait till Putty clicks on it and see if it's the one.
Okay, so is it anywhere like? See, the thing is, that's
no. You pick your Easter egg from this video, and I'll tell you if it's the one I'm thinking of.
Well, no, the Easter eggs I have are all at the end.
Okay, show me the Easter egg.
Okay, so again, we go through. Okay, so
confused.
Well, no, but so we go through the episode. This is when we find out that Calypso is
putting on a tournament.
Okay, and so
there you go.
Okay,
there you go.
Okay, so
no, but you probably need to play this without audio because like you got to stop at every image.
I know. Oh my God.
Okay, no. Hold on. We won't get into that. People can watch the show if they want to see this.
Fair use, guys. Fair use.
I think if people really want to see this, they can watch the show for this. I don't think we need to go that deep here. I think we can explain it verbally. Explain it verbally. We don't need to go through this.
Who are some of the characters we get?
Okay, so We get a picture of Axel, which I put OMG because I was waiting for this whole time comparing other pictures of Axel. We get a picture of Mr. Grimm. All right. And then at the end, well, okay. As far as the pictures, was there anybody else that I missed? I saw Axel, Mr. Grimm, and all the other people that are already there, like Preacher, all those. Yeah. Did I miss anybody?
No, you did not.
No.
Okay. Then, of course, we get by far one. Oh yeah, I'm looking for it right now. Where is it? Where is it? Is it right actually at the end here?
There it is.
Yes.
We get Dollface.
When I saw this, I said, "You guys are fan favoring it." This is the girl that drives the semi Dark Side.
Yep, Dark Side.
Oh my god.
Dude,
but there's a big revelation here that's not canon to the games.
There's multiple.
Comment down below if you heard what I said.
Oh, they're brother and sister. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot they said that. Oh yeah, that was never in the game. Okay, so then what do we miss, Ken? Well, you said we missed something?
No, I didn't. I said,
oh, okay.
I'll enter you in a giveaway if you heard what I said there and you comment down below.
There you go.
Right.
But
seriously, I will.
Okay. Well, my point to the whole thing is this. I was going through it and I feel like I did miss a lot of things, which of course JD I had.
No, you nailed it. You nailed it.
Yeah.
I would say if worst case scenario, we missed a couple of things.
Yeah, right. But the whole tournament thing, I think as long as they do it right, this could be an amazing series. You know what I mean?
Given what they did here, especially in my actual review, which check out will be in Putty's description. Especially in the actual review, I think we all agree if they keep to the ideal of just be absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
you can't fail.
It's one of those things.
There's no story in this show.
Oh, there's Mr. Grimm. There's Mr. Grimm.
One of them, and they did great.
Ridiculous.
And I love how you don't see their faces, so they're not. You can cast anybody you want. You know what I mean?
I know, but see, that's what I'm saying. I want to, I want to show the character. I've been waiting this whole thing just to show that one character. But guys, there's a character that if you've never seen him in the game, it is like one of the craziest looking characters. And I think maybe what I'm just going to do is just go to this and then
let's not even spoil it for them.
God, but they're not going to know when they see
it. Let them have this on their own. Let them have this on their own. Let's wrap this baby up, sweetheart.
All right. But that being said, guys, listen, this was an amazing, as far as TV series go, this series alone is just an amazing look at how video games, whether it be TV shows or movies, are going into it. And it was really, really exciting. And do you have something you want to add to that, Campo?
Yeah. If you guys find the Easter egg that we didn't put in this that Putty wanted to, okay, and you comment what it is down below, and you're right, I will enter you in a giveaway. I will give Putty a giveaway to give away to you for the people who get it.
Ooh,
there you go.
Well, there you go. With that being said, guys,
can I enter?
No.
Exactly. With that being said, guys, go check out Johnny Adonis. We're doing the tier list over there. Spoiler alert, I said we did it, but we haven't done it yet. But we're about to do that right now. Go check out our review, RLG Campo below. Guys, thank you for watching. This is the Twisted Metal Triple Threat series. It's amazing. I can't wait for us to do something like this again.
Three-way dance, baby.
I know, right? And as always, I'm Putty with the G-Pod crew. You know what we do. We do amazing videos like this, a breakdown for you. And I appreciate y'all watching. As always, I'll speak to y'all later.